All right, guys, welcome back to Schmattz Outdoors. Boy, am I tired and sore today. So last night I decided I had 4 days worth of skunks. So I had 14 of them to deal with. So I got the essence sucked out of them. Ended up with, what I figure, about 6 ounces of essence out of the 14 skunks I had. And then I decided to skin 9 of those 14. Some of them were muddy, a couple of them had really bad burrs in them, just chock full burrs. And a couple of them just stunk because they were caught like a 220 and they sprayed. So 5 of them I didn't skin, 9 of them I did. So I skinned them, washed them in the peroxide solution, all that, and then skinned the coyotes and raccoons and the muskrats and everything else I had. So I didn't get in the house till 10 o'clock again last night. So I didn't get as much sleep as I should, and I am sore today after that. But got all that stuff done. It's good to have done. I think I'm gonna try and stay on top of it. Maybe we'll see how many I catch, but go like every other night of, taking care of the skunks as I catch them instead of waiting quite so long. But dealing with skunks takes a lot of extra time. But I think I kind of went over it last night a little bit. I downsized a little bit again, so this is just muskrat traps now, so I don't have quite as big a tote here. And that bigger tote was just kind of being a pain. It was bouncing around back here and all that. I did throw in one 330 and one of the new H stands I built. I think I can put that in one of the crossover sets or crossovers over one of the dams there. So we're going to give that a shot. I got 3 footholds, beaver footholds in the front, so we're going to try and set up that beaver house today. Or not really much of a house, but that nuisance beaver area there. We're going to probably put, I'm thinking maybe 3 or 4 sets there. I want to be in there and out of there in a couple days here, so I think there's going to be 1 adult male in there, and there's going to be maybe a couple year-olds in there, so hopefully in the next like 2 or 3 checks I got, 3 or 4 or 3 beaver caught or 4 or whatever is all in there. Hit them hard right away, fast here. We'll see what burning did yesterday. So like I said, the local fire department stopped right as I was kind of checking things out yesterday, and they were going to burn that whole area. So all the grass is all going to be gone, all that. So that might change it a little bit as well. Like I said, I have a pretty good idea how I'm going to set it up. So it's going to be just stop, get in there, wham bam, get out of there. So I kind of made the decision last night that I don't think I'm going to be adding any new muskrat sets to any new location. So if I need to tune one here or there, or want to add one by some I already have, I might do that still. So I do have extra traps for that. I do have extra traps because I've still been having a few that have been setting off. Like yesterday I pulled a couple 110s that were set off, I think maybe even 2 days in a row with nothing in them. And then when I went to try and reset them, they went off a couple times before I could get it set. Instead of sitting there fiddling around with them, I literally just pulled it, grabbed a brand new trap, and dropped a new trap in there. I think I should be doing that more every year, but I've been, like I said, keeping them separate from everything else. So I do want some spare traps just in case I, notice that I got a repeat offender that keeps going off. Or, I had one yesterday actually that the triggers on my 110 were both broke off. Well, it's hard to reset it if you don't have a trigger on your trap. So, but yeah, like I said, I think my truck's pretty much ready to go. I just filled my peat moss because I forgot to do that last night. My urine looks good. I've been using like a gallon of peat moss a day roughly. I can get about 10 sets out of a gallon, and I think I remade like 7 or 8 coyote sets yesterday. So I had 16 gallons of peat moss going into the season, and I'm on day 5 and I've used more than 5 gallons. I think I've used about 6 or 6.5 gallons of peat moss. So I have some more dry, I just haven't got it sifted and that type of stuff. So I'm gonna have to kind of watch that as we get going or keep going into the season here. It's been terribly warm. It's been like close to 70s for highs the last few days. So a lot of the nuisance animals are still running strong. I mean, obviously you seen the raccoons yesterday were out and about, so it's supposed to get up close to 70 again tonight. By the end of the week here, it's supposed to cool off. So again, maybe that will slow the nuisance animals down a little bit and kind of keep my coyote sets working a little better. But all right, I think that's about all I got for you this morning. Like I said, we're planning on just maybe adding the one set or the one spot, the beaver sets there, and we're gonna kind of go from there. Like I said, I got probably 20 coyote traps, locations for 20 coyote traps I could get out right now if I had the time to do it. But between water trapping and as much land animals as I've been catching, I just don't have time to be adding too much to the line. You know, it's already late when I'm getting home. If I add line, you're gonna have possibly that many more catches, and you know, it's gonna take me that much longer to run the whole line. So I'm leaving right now, just so you know. I'm leaving at 8 o'clock. It's like 5 minutes after right now. And yesterday I got home at 4:30 in the afternoon. So if kind of give you an idea, it's taken me 8.5 hours to run my line yesterday. The couple days before that, it was closer to like 12 hours, honestly. Or like, I don't know, probably 10, 11 hours. So, like I said, I got to be kind of cautious of how many new sets I add out. Because again, I got to be able to check all these sets every day. So, all right, like I said, I think we're pretty well organized. Hopefully this area here has some fur in it by the time we get home, and let's get out on the line and see what we got for you. All right, guys, if you can see, I got my waders on already. So whole first part of the line is dead this morning, which, you know, it's no surprise. Like I said, I mean, you have pulled quite a few animals out of that first part of the line in the last few days. So under the second thru here, and I finally have my first set off trap of the morning. You guys could probably see I'm right down here. Got myself a little muskrat there. We'll get this one remade. It actually looks like, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see that. Looks like right in the middle, right here, something's chewed on my carrot there. So one chewed on it but didn't get caught there. So we'll get this little guy out of here. I got sets on the other side of the road I haven't checked, and got sets down on the other end. So first catch of the morning, we're on the board. All right, I'm down to the other end of the same thru here. The ones on the opposite side of the road, my 110 was set off, but like half my carrot is chewed off. But it was just set off kind of hanging there, so they could have ate it just swimming up to it. And then my other pole set again was leaned over. So I moved my bait way up. So I'm like probably 15 inches above the water this time. And I just like hair triggered the trap. So if they just bump that pan, they should be setting it off. The two on the other side of the road are still working. That 110 is set off again for about the third day in a row, but I was trying to show you this. So you can see that it's got teeth mark in there where they've literally been chewing on it, but somehow I didn't get them caught. Just get my, but this one here, also the bait was missing yesterday, but I did get a muskrat today in it. So, and I may lift the bait up on this one too, is, you know, up out of the water just a little bit more, because it's actually been chewed on right here on the side of it. So maybe I caught the bait thief here, but like I said, apparently I got my bait a little too close to the water on these sets. So we're gonna lift this one up, we'll get both of these remade, and we'll get moved on. So we got two now in the truck. Ooh, darn, it just fell on my butt. All right, guys, so we're at the very end of this big thru. So this is just the north part of it. On the other side of the road, there's the bigger part, and I'll show you that in a second. The rest of the thru's been empty, which is not typical. I've been normally doing really good in this thru, but got myself a nice little guy there in a foothold, and my 110 is still working over there. This is the location where there's the, what I believe is an otter slide, where the otters are using this thru. So this thru is fairly deep, and they have in the past had, so like here you can kind of see the big thru. They have in the past, like right out here, had a big minnow trap, but I don't see no buoys or the floats for it this year, so they either don't have it in here yet. But if they're trapping minnows, it'd be a good zoo for otters. So, but I could see my 110 is set off here. I actually could see a tail right here. That looks like a pretty decent sized one there. So I ended up with just 2 in here today, which is down from what I have been catching, but we'll take every one I can get, I'll tell you. So yeah, we'll re-lure both of these footholds and we'll get this guy out of this trap and the one out of that trap, and we'll be on our way. Alright guys, we're just to the next swoop. So this is one of the ones I kind of had a couple just feeler sets right here by this giant culvert. You know, the big part of the Sioux's over here, it's like, I don't know, 40, 60 acres. And then there's a little chunk on this side. Yesterday, I only had one little one in this set yesterday, or the first checked. Yesterday, nothing was even messed with. So I actually was debating if I had a blank today, if I was going to pull these sets or leave them. But I think we're going to end up leaving them for another day. So got one little muskrat there. And then on this side of the road, I see you guys can probably see him already right there. Right down here is another little muskrat. And I mean, stress on the little part of it, but a muskrat nonetheless. So we're gonna take these 2 out of here. Like I said, in the next couple days, I'll probably be pulling these sets. Like I said, I was just kind of curious if there's any back in here. Hopefully we start getting a little bit of rain and moisture over the winter. We get some snow to keep this slough full. And maybe by next year, this time, this slough will be chock full of muskrats. All right, guys, I'm to a slough I probably haven't showed you yet. So again, these are just kind of feeler sets here, just to... Some years I catch a few muskrats in this slough, some years not. The other one was just down the road here, like 100 yards, and I've been making catches in there. Both of my traps were, one was just not, the foothold was just knocked off the bracket, and my 110 was set off with nothing in it. But so this slough here, like I said, it's really deep. Like, I mean, it's to my waist where my sets are at here. So you gotta be kind of careful. But I see both of my traps are set off. I'm pretty sure I got one catch for sure. Like I said, these have been here 3 days now. First couple days they didn't have nothing, but this one here, well, I do got a muskrat. He was hiding underneath this clod of cattails. Give you a little bit of a look. So he's all muddy. And then in my 110 here, you can see this guy from the road. So we got ourselves another one. So again, some years I catch a few muskrats in here. Some years, I mean, like the water's another foot deeper and I don't even set this because it's, you know, like I said, you see how deep it is now. A foot deeper, it's this deep. Well, then it gets my truck and everything just super wet just to check these. So we'll get both of these guys out of here. Like I said, kind of not the place where I thought I'd be catching them today, but we'll take every one I can get. A few sets down the road again here. What I have is this slough on this side of the road, and I showed you the other day culvert right here, and it looked like they were coming right through here. So I just put a blind set right here. I actually a little bit had hopes that a guy would catch a mink in that set, but got myself another itty bitty muskrat in there. He's not real big, but he's big enough for this guy. You can't really dictate what you're gonna catch. So this one was coming out of the culvert. The last one I caught was coming in. So we'll get him out of here, and my set remade here. What I did too, and I didn't really show it, but I took a few pieces of cattail like that. And when I had my trap in there, I just kind of stood a couple of them kind of right in the corners and, you know, set them kind of at a little angle like this, just to kind of break up the outline of my trap. maybe I'll get this reset and I'll turn you guys on. I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about. All right, so I got that guy reset. Like I said, I just kind of stuck a couple of these cattails, just kind of a few over them. I don't want a huge glob right there, but a few, just maybe break up the outline of my trap. And then my triggers are sticking up from the bottom. You know, so if they come, the trigger's down towards the mud, so. Just making sure it's down where I want it to be, and we'll be on our way. All right, guys, so I'm out to a brand new set this year. This is the first year I've ever tried putting a set like this, or a set right here. Where my truck is setting up here, there's a little dirt 2-track road, a little grove here. The other day I had a skunk down this fence line. So there's a little field like right here, then this tree line, and then this fence line. There's a big block of woods over here this way. And I had a skunk over there maybe 2 days ago. What I got, again, it's kind of the same. You know, there's a whole hill system here that drops off, you know, all the way along the edge here. And what there was is this kind of little drainage ditch cuts through this field, and it kind of snakes its way over. Then there's a full quarter, 160 acres of wildlife over this direction. And I thought, you know, the coyotes are gonna run right down this ditch. And that farmer actually mowed this yesterday, and he purposely mowed around my set. He asked me where it was, or I let him know where it was, and he mowed right around my set, which is perfect. And today we got ourselves a catch. Somehow he thinks he's hiding. I mean, like literally, like as I'm walking out here from my truck, he was laid as flat as he could have got laid, like even lower than he's laying now. Like he was trying to hide from me. Like I couldn't see him laying here. But when I was coming down the road, because I come from this direction, I could see, when I was way back here, I could see him standing here. So yeah, second coyote off this farm, because I caught one 2 days ago way on the other side of this farm, basically on the far west side of the farm. I'm on the east side of the farm. One thing, so this is north this direction, so a predominant wind's going to be blowing northwest in my area, so that's actually why I put it here. I kind of wanted my scent to blow right down the bottom of this thing, you know, so if they're walking, especially now that he mowed this is going to be a perfect highway for coyotes. So like I said, I kind of wanted to get, so I didn't want it like over here, because then my scent would be kind of blowing out over the field. So I made sure I was around the corner enough. So like I said, like northwest wind to be blowing directly this way, so I'm getting the most of my scent blowing across this ditch as I could. So all right, well, first land catch of the day, got myself another coyote. It's number 11 for the season, and we'll get this guy out here. It's gonna take me a minute just to get this all remade, and we're making good time through the line, which is good. You never know, the back end of the line could be the strong side of the line today, but front end of the line's been pretty dead. I had one rat caught in a dog proof, and now this is this second land trap that's actually been set off, or that I've been able to tell is set off today. So all right, back in the catches. Sometimes I wonder if I do too good a job cleaning the coyotes out of a certain area, because I kind of feel like the coyotes are going to keep some of the non-targets, you know, numbers down, like skunks and raccoons and, you know, feral cats, whatever. But because the reason why I'm saying that, I'm back by the feedlot here. I had a coyote over behind my truck over here yesterday, and I had a skunk in this set, I don't know, maybe 3 days ago or something. It was set off, might have been yesterday. Had a deer had stepped in and set it off. Yeah, it was yesterday, because I remade it yesterday and now I got a catch today. So, but yeah, like this, I used to catch, you know, a half a dozen coyotes back here every year. Last year I only caught 2 coyotes back here, but I caught like 5 or 6 of these guys, and they're huge skunks, like great big buggers. I mean, he's like a barrel with legs. He's not like super on edge, but he's on edge enough I don't want to get too much closer to him. I mean, you could see him plain as day. So, but yeah, another big skunk. That's the 4th skunk back here now, and 1 coyote. So I don't know, eventually hopefully get some of these kind of thinned down back here, and start catching target animals. I mean, even raccoons would be better than skunks. So got my syringe pole and everything here. We'll get this guy dispatched and set remade, and we'll get out of here. All right, guys, so I got that skunk taken care of. We're on to some new sets I just put in here yesterday. Like I said, I used the 4 poles I already had put together, so it actually went fairly quickly. And like I said, I had to drive like a quarter mile to put these in. So what I have is a pretty good size thru. It goes way down kind of over this way, but it's real thick cattails, and I don't want to walk through that to get out there. So I took the easy spot. There's a culvert right here. It goes under the road. I did drop a mink box in right in the end of the cattails here, and nothing in that today, but it looks like this set, like somehow my trap just slid down my pole. I don't know if I've ever had that happen with it being still set. I was gonna bring a couple colony traps with me today and kind of block most of this off, and I forgot to throw them in. I thought about it like right as I was pulling up here, but my foothold here, I do have a catch. Pretty decent looking muskrat there. And then most of the sign and the muskrats were all on the other side of the culvert here. So I didn't know that this hut was here until I stopped to put in sets yesterday. But there was like 3 or 4 muskrats like splashing around. So there's this big hut right here. Looks like they got kind of one started here, and I don't know, I can, so I put a 110 there that's just set off with nothing in it, but I can see a floating muskrat right here. Kind of a little butterball the way it looks. So brand new sets for today. Like I said, there's not much of a little slew on this side. A couple years ago, most of this was all full of cattails, and I was still catching them. I don't know where the culvert actually comes out here. They got kind of this stuff plugged up over the top of it. I think it's right here, but we'll get these 2 remade and move on. All right, guys, so a couple slews down the road where I had the mink chewed the one up yesterday, there was nothing in any of those sets, so a little surprising. Was hoping the mink would be in that mink box, but he wasn't. So when I'm at this great big slough. It's most of a quarter all water. So I got 3 muskrat sets, and I have one down there. But I showed you this yesterday. My mink box was set off and the trap was all the way out. Well, now something's been here, because I had a chunk of beaver meat stuck in that can, along with that's a chunk of carp in there. And something's been here and pulled my bait out of there, and there is nothing in my trap. So I kind of played with this one yesterday, and I mean, I jiggled it as hard as I could with it being set, and it didn't go off. So I don't know, it must just slowly be going off. So we're gonna pull this trap. I'm gonna run back to my truck here quick and get actually we'll show you this muskrat, but I'm gonna go back. I have 1 extra mink box in my trap, or in my truck, and we're gonna steal that trap and get that, put it in here. Obviously something, and I'm actually gonna grab some more bait. Obviously something was there and liked what I had, but I could see tail of a floating muskrat. So this is the same set that had one in there yesterday, so got a pretty nice looking muskrat, nice and big one. So yeah, my average size on muskrats is probably back down again. I had pretty good sized ones yesterday, but now today they're pretty small again, so it's nice to catch a decent sized one. So I said it's gonna take me just a minute. I'll get this muskrat set remade. I'll quick run back to my truck and get a new trap for that mink box, and we'll be on our way. All right, guys, I'm to the next slough, which is this 4 corners. So I stood on the road here a little bit so you can see. So I have 2 sets up on the north end of that one. This one here is always dry. And I have this set here, and I've had catches in it 2 days in a row. And this is the 3rd day. And I know you guys are probably saying, oh God, should add a second set in here. That may be true, but there's zero sign. Like there's zero cuttings that I can see. There's no muskrat houses in here. So honestly, if I catch one more, I'm gonna pull the set out of here. Right here's my muskrat. Oh, he's tangled up down there. There we go. So there he is, kind of muddy because he was tangled up in the bottom, but. So yeah, this is one of those places where I don't want to catch every muskrat out of here. Kind of year over year, I always do good in this slough, so I'd rather leave a few muskrats in here kind of for seed. I mean, that may sound dumb. I don't know what the prices are going to be for anything this year, so I don't need to catch 1,000 muskrats this season. So like I said, if I catch one more like tomorrow or the next day, if I have a catch in this set, I'm going to pull it out of here. So instead of adding a set, I'm actually going to, you know, if I catch one more, I'll just take the set out of here. Kind of, like I said, preserve the population a little bit. There's a few of these sloughs that are kind of like that I don't think there's many in. So I don't want to catch everyone there. You know, I want to leave a few. Hopefully the water level stays up a little bit and there'll be a bigger population next year. You know, I'd love to get back to where I can catch 200 in a season again. But right now, I mean, there's no way I'd have to be just water trapping only this season and probably putting on 1,000 miles a day to catch a 200 in a season. But all right, we'll get this guy out of here. We'll get moved on. The beaver sets are the beaver set spot is the next place. So fingers crossed. All right, guys. So we're back at the beaver house sets again, and it happened again. I don't know. I added a pole set right over here, so my drowning wire runs out to about right here somewhere. So I added a foothold pole set. I added a 110 pole set that's set off, and most of my carrot is ate. You can see they ate probably half or more of my carrot, but there's my muskrat, and I'm pretty sure the mink got after him and ate my muskrat. But like over here, all my castor is gone that I put on there again. So one of these times I feel like I gotta catch him. I'm gonna actually try and walk over on this side of this tree that's down and see if I can get up to the shore someplace. I don't know if I'm gonna add a second set necessarily, but possibly move this set. I don't know. I don't know why the muskrats are coming up right here. I mean, there's no, you know, pile or nothing for them or anything to be around, but apparently it looks like mink tracks right over here in the mud. Right over here looks like mink tracks. So here, let's walk over there. See, and like the beavers, almost like they're coming up underneath these sticks to mud on here, but I'm pretty sure that this is mink tracks right here. I don't really know where they go, but they're right there anyway. But I do have my mink box actually sitting over here. I may move my mink box to right here and throw this whole muskrat in there. Obviously it's not worth taking home. His guts are all hanging out. So, but yeah, like I said, I'm gonna wander down, see if I can get over on the other side of this tree, see if I can add a second set in here, or I don't know. We gotta do something different here, because catching muskrat day after day, I wanted to be done trapping the beaver out of here. I think there's only one in here, so if a guy could catch one, I'd maybe leave it a day or two after that. But it's already Tuesday and I was hoping to pull my whole line on Friday, so I'm planning on pulling the whole water line on Friday. I don't want to have to leave just this, you know, a few of these beaver sets if I can't get this beaver caught. So wouldn't even bother me. I mean, so bad there was a muskrat here, but the fact that the mink killed and ate him, and I have a mink box. My mink box is right over here. It's right underneath this tree, kind of up in the grass over there. So I said, I'm gonna move my mink box over here. I'm gonna wander around over there, see if I can do something different here, because like I said, what I got set up here isn't working. Well guys, that was not good. So I'm still at this beaver house, and I switched to my phone because I went well over the top of my waders in water out there. So I tried to walk kind of out and around that beaver house out towards where the feed bed was, and I was using one of my muskrat poles. I just took the trap off of it, and I was poking it in front of me, you know, kind of testing, and I poked, and my 5-foot pole went all the way down and didn't hit the bottom, and right at the same time, so the beaver run is real steep, and right at the same time my feet started sliding, I didn't touch the bottom, and I'm wet this deep up on my waders. I don't know if you, my clothes are probably, but my armpits and everything are wet. So I was, you know, this deep in. Well, I have my GoPro sitting right in the front of my waders here, on the inside of my waders. So my GoPro is all wet. So I don't know where, I won't be filming with it anymore today. So we'll be using my phone. Not ideal. Luckily, I only got, I think, 2 muskrat sets left and just a few on my way home, land sets. So boy, that was, like I said, I mean, I was floundering around there for a second, and then like I said, it's real steep down in there, so I couldn't get my footing on the opposite side of it to get pulled back up. So I basically, I mean, I was, like I said, like this deep up in the water, trying to get myself pulled out of the run. Luckily, the water's not terribly cold, but luckily it's not terribly cold, but my boot on this side especially is, I would say, full up to my ankle. I would say it just was running down. I mean, the other side is wet, there's water in there too, but I could feel it sloshing in my boot. So I don't know, I won't be changing into my shoes just because I got, you know, my sock is soaked and everything. Like I said, I only have a few sets left to go, but hoofda. And I didn't find a better spot to put my trap either, so I don't know what I'm gonna do here. There's that real deep run that I probably can't set anyway. There is one more run that I found as I walked around there that's not super deep, but I should be able to maybe get a 330 in there. So I don't know, and tomorrow I might throw in again one extra 330. Like I said, I was hoping to have this beaver caught and out of here, you know, 2 days ago. Again, I figured there's only one beaver, so if I catch him, I might leave my set here for maybe a day or two more just to make sure. But by Friday, like I said, I was hoping to be done. Because of this, now I'm soaked. It's, you know, it's 70 degrees today or close to it, so I'll be fine. I won't get, you know, froze or nothing. But if this happens like on Friday, it's supposed to be a high of like 40 degrees, so that could be bad. But yeah, I got nothing in my coyote set. Coyote set's right over here someplace. Right here it is. Nothing in that coyote set today. So again, I got, I think, just 2 muskrat sets left to go, and then about a dozen land sets, and we'll be home. So luckily I won't be wet too long, but yeah, I'm soaked. And again, I normally keep my wallet in my truck, not in my pants, just for in case something like this happens. And then I do sweat quite a bit, especially when it's 70 degrees and you're wearing waders all day. So luckily nothing really important other than my GoPro got wet. My phone was in my truck here, which is where I normally keep it. So I knew better too. The house is so sticky and everything else, and I'm so afraid of poking a hole in my waders, you know, trying to get jabbed by a stick you can't see or something like that, or just kick into one. I don't know, right over my waders. So there's one real good run there. Like I said, I don't know how a guy had ever set the thing, but it's there. It's, you know, better, I would say it's 5 foot deep to the bottom, and like I said, I was not touching the bottom of the run. So and it's only, I mean, it's narrow too. It's only 18 inches wide or less, you know, a typical beaver run. So again, I knew better. That's why I was poking the pole in front of me, you know, trying to find it. But as soon as I found it, I was already, my feet were on the edge, and it just slid right into the bottom of it. And there's no backpedaling once you start sliding, especially in the water. So, well, we're wet today. Hopefully tomorrow pays off with a beaver. Alright guys, so I'm making my way down the line here. I've quite a few traps past where I just run the water into my waders. No more muskrats, no more land animals until right now. I got, including this one, 3 traps left to check. 2 left to check, you know, because I'm obviously here, but I'm not going to get any closer. I'm not sure if he's actually dead. He has not moved since I've been here, so I'm hoping somebody else didn't dispatch it for me. But right here, there's a skunk laying there in my dog proof. Oh, there he's moving. I'm hoping I can wake him up a little bit. So the wind is kind of blowing this direction, so I'm hopefully going to get over here to try and get him injected, but try and stay upwind of him as much as I can here. But this is the same set that I had the last raccoon I filmed for you the other night. Like, I slipped and fell coming off the bank right here. But yeah, same set that I had that catch in. So, and I do have one on the other end of this big culvert here, but nothing's even messed with that. This one, the golf ball was knocked off yesterday, and I was lazy and I didn't come and put it in here. So today I'm like, or put it back on. So today, like, I'm definitely gonna get that set fixed up, and I got this guy to deal with instead. So we'll get him taken care of and we'll move on. All right, everyone, I made her home here. So that skunk was the last catch. What a difference a day makes, honestly. I mean, yesterday, 2 coyotes, 5 raccoons, 2 skunks, you know, and a bunch of muskrats and whatever. Today, just the 2 skunks, 1 coyote here, and 14 muskrats. So 1 less muskrat than yesterday. Like I said, what a difference a day makes. I mean, been catching raccoons like crazy the last few checks, and today no raccoons at all. So it's kind of, you know, I'll take what I can get, but it's kind of strange how that happens. Like I said, you know, that all of a sudden it's just a wave all in one night. So whether or not the weather was whatever that night, or, you know, I don't know. Like I said, I've tried to figure out a little bit what makes that happen, but I've never been able to really come up with a true pattern. On coyotes and fox especially, I've tried to the last couple years keep track of the patterns a little bit, but the only thing I've noticed a little bit is on real dark nights. Like, it's, you know, it's been like almost a new moon when I started trapping, and we're getting a little more moon each night now. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I've noticed over the last few years that kind of the darker the moon, or if it's a real cloudy night, I actually typically do a little better on coyotes. I can't say that we're talking like, you know, I catch 10 coyotes on a dark night and I only catch 1 on a bright night, but I have noticed, just like I said, kind of general trend that I may catch it more on a dark night than I do on ones with like a bright moon out. We'll flip you around here. We'll kind of show you the catches, and then I am soaked. I'm actually wet, like up to my knee. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I'm sloshing water inside my wader that high up. So I'm a good foot of water inside my waders. And like I said, I'm wet from about here down. So like I said, armpit height, like the armpit of my shirt is still wet. You know, the nice thing is I went from being hot because it was like almost 70 degrees out today. I actually think I've actually gotten a little bit of suntan in the last couple of days. But I went from being hot to now I'm actually chilled. So we're going to get the waders off and some normal clothes on, and we'll get some skinning done here. I need to get all my carcasses hauled away tonight, or I'm going to get them all hauled away tonight. And maybe a few other like small things done around the yard, as long as I have a little bit of a break tonight. But all right, so catches, pair of skunks right here. You know, the one in my coyote set, the last one I just caught in that dog proof. 1 coyote today, so still adding to the coyote numbers. So 11 for the year. Again, real nicely furred. He's got a few burrs, like right here, he's got a burr in there. A few burrs in him, but nothing I can't handle. Real nice looking coyote, like I said, for around here. And then we got 13 muskrats that laying up here. I did catch 14, like I said. The 14th one was in that beaver set, and I just threw him back in the mink box. I moved the mink box right kind of just above my caster mound. So hopefully, like, if I do catch a beaver, he pulls away from my mink box and doesn't set it off. Or vice versa, if I catch a mink in that trap, I hope that he stays far enough. I hope I got it far enough away that he can't get to my beaver set. So yeah, not quite as much to show tonight on the end of the day catch, but plenty. I mean, like I said, I'm not not complaining to have a little bit of reprieve, because it was after 10 o'clock last night by the time I got done. So the 2 skunks we're going to hold off probably till, for a couple days here. We'll kind of stockpile them again like I did. And then last night I skinned 9 of them. Both of these should probably be ones I would skin. They look pretty nice. Neither one had sprayed, so they should have some essence in there. I figured out I roughly had about 1/5 of a liter last night of essence, so I figured like around 6 ounces of essence out of the 14 skunks I've caught already, not including these 2. This is 16 I've got for the year. So out of 14 skunks, I had roughly 6 ounces of essence. So, that basically is paying for my gas to drive around for the last few days, just on essence alone. So, not to mention, 11 coyotes and 15 raccoons and everything else, and the 9 skunks I skinned. So, all right, I believe that's enough talking for me. Again, I was thinking about it on the way home. I believe this is the first time trapping that I've actually run water over the top of my waders. I've done it, plenty of times duck hunting and doing other dumb things, but I think this is the first time trapping that I've actually run water over my waders. I've been close a few times. Like I said, normally that's why I'm poking a stake out in front of me while I'm walking around, trying to find runs and that type of stuff. And just dumb luck happened. Like I said, as soon as I poked and found the run, I was already sliding down into it and I couldn't do anything. So we'll take the waders off. Like I said, we're going to dump the water out. We're going to hang them on the front of my truck until I'm done skinning and all that, let them dry out, and then I'll have them hanging inside out in my basement. Hopefully they're dry or mostly dry by the morning. And like I said, we're going to have to get brand new clothes on because I'm just drenched right now. So all right, thanks for watching Schmattz Outdoors. We'll see you out on the line tomorrow. All right, let's see how much water is really in my waders here. In case you're wondering, these are actually like fly fishing waders. So they come with a separate boot, and then the waders themselves just got booties on them. I can feel the water. My whole foot is full of water. You can see all the duckweed inside of them. Let's see if I can get them off and leave the water in there. Hope you guys can see the water running off my foot, my sock. Side. All right, guys. Not to mention, like I said, I'm soaked from here down. My pants, the socks, the whole works is all soaked. So, had just a little bit of water in my waders.